Greetings. I am Marshaa Balani and I am from India. And before we begin, I would humbly request everyone to take a moment and go back to the time when they entered this room, or any room for that matter, and think if you ever made an assumption about anything, about someone's age, about someone's profession, or well, if you're a person like me, wondered if they are an Aries. So we can establish that human lives are full of preconceived notions and externalities are overemphasized ever so often. And that is why I say that my truth lies under the layers of my skin. So I am 17 years old and I have had vitiligo for almost a decade now. And yes, I do know that microdosing. Regardless, isn't it nice to always have something in common with the king of pop? So now what is vitiligo? Vitiligo is an autoimmune disease, which means that my immune system fights off the melanin in my body, subsequently leading parts of my skin to turn white. Now, at birth, I showed no symptoms, but they began to come forth when I was about 8 years old. This condition affects approximately 70 million people around the globe. And so, some people assume that my condition is contagious, beginning with my classmates in grade 7. The child in me didn't quite understand, and I was quite flabbergasted with the treatment that I received, horrifying me so much that I decided to, quote, wash it off with a pumice stone. And throughout the course of time, I have been bullied and called names. I have been isolated and avoided. Put down by many, I have been told that I am a failure. All of it creates a million self-doubts. I refuse to wear short clothes because my skin would throw up. I refused to speak because whenever I spoke, I shivered. It shattered my self-confidence. We went to doctors and to priests who gave me more ointments and medicines than the food on my plate. Medication that would have possibly made me sick with chronic illnesses such as diabetes and hypertension, among others. It was one fine doctor, Dr. Bakaya, who changed my perspective, who counseled me to introspect and made me understand that this was nothing more than an allergy. The wrong medication, the wrong steps, this need to measure up to perfection in your life can have grave consequences. So what made the change? What made me get up and speak here? I tried every single day. I did not win every day. It was not a bed of roses. It was more like a forest full of thorns and me, the lost solo traveler. I mean, there are days when I still face stigmatization. However, I refuse to believe that a patch on my skin can put me down. I want to help people believe that they do not need a bully to approve of them. You are in charge of your own destiny. You are what you want to be. It broke my heart, every piece of my heart. I refused to speak, muffling my cries amongst their laughs. So I decided to take charge. From being the quiet kid, today I find myself to be one of the most sociable, compassionate, and confident people that I know. And I'm very sorry if this sounds like a brag, but I went from the kid who felt powerless to the one that can stand up for others. From the kid filled with feelings of shame and embarrassment to the one giving this speech. Now, despite all these years and despite all these circumstances, it has somehow become a part of me. Acceptance doesn't come easy. So when somebody asks me, how did I do it? This is what I say. Beginning with my parents, my mom is the most optimistic goofball you'd ever come across. And if there's a thing that I have learned from her, it is that if I were to think of what would other people think of me, what would other people do? Trust me, it sounds way more poetic in Hindi. So that was an Indian mom's version of the only opinion that matters about you is yours and yours alone. The second mantra to run out of dams to give is to grab your fear by the neck, look into its eyes, and say, "Hey, Mr. Terror, you got something new for me." So I was afraid to take pictures, and I decided Instagram was a nice place to model. I was afraid to speak, so I took up Model UN, an extracurricular activity that would make confidence ooze from every inch of your existence. Don't let fear scare you. Make fear fear you, your strength, and your aspirations. Now, what's even more important is company. What do we think of the people who scare us? The ones who belittle us, the ones who make us wonder, but oh my God, that is my friend, and how do I have no inhibitions? Solitude is scary, but way better than bad company. Don't let anyone tell you what should you do and who you should be. Why? Because nobody should have the audacity to tell you that you deserve anything other than the entire world. Now, trust the process and attract those people. Because somebody said that what you seek is seeking you. And one of such right people told me that this life is a wagon and it will stop at the right station. And meanwhile, to add a pop of color, these are some of the right people in my life, in my journey, and I believe that this would be a nice one to them. With that, always have something to look forward to. Trivial obstacles will never cease to exist. So learn that new instrument, learn that new language, meet those new people, go out to that new place. I go in every seminar, in every class, do every single thing that comes across. I do trillion things at once because I know that some of us have heard the phrase, curiosity killed the cat, but then in reality, the phrase goes as, curiosity killed the cat, but satisfaction brought it back. So have those curiosity caps on and have something to look forward to every single day, alongside being ready for every challenge that life throws at you. Speaking of challenges, so I believe that most of us have suffered from this one crisis that is defining our self-worth. Especially coming from a country like India, there were countless people who looked at my parents and went like with that sympathetic nod. And then there are some people who think that I'm cursed by a goddess. And the biggest concern of them all, not in all sarcasm, is that who will marry such a girl? And once again, my quite the rebel mother said that my self-worth is defined by me and me alone, me and my actions. It is not affected by the society or its idea of who I should be and what should I do. So now, once again, marriage wasn't the goal. And, there you have it. Marriage, beauty, and modesty. The holy trifecta for Asian women. And coming back to beauty. So now there's some people who alienate me even when they mean in my good interest. Vitiligo is not beauty spots. So they do not make me a beauty pageant winner, just as they do not make me ugly. Now, some people would think that this thought in itself is so disoriented and hypocritical, but my only demand, this is deemed as one, is that for once, I would like to be looked at as a normal human being. So just as some people are fair and some people are dark, somewhere across the spectrum, there are people like me. Now, with that, One message that I want to leave before I go is that you will have struggles of your own and those of people around you. Do not forget to curate a compassionate life. Giving back is just as important as surviving. Speaking on this platform, for me, is not about fame. It's about bringing to light lives of people like me. Vitiligo is inseparable from my body. It is inseparable from me. It is a part of my identity, but it is not my identity. It is a part of who I am, but it is not who I am. I am much more than that. And for the record, I'm actually quite proud of what I am and who I am like. I am who I wanted to be, and yet I have a long way to go. So I might not be that billionaire on the billboards or that supermodel on the ramp, but I am Marshaa Balani, and my biggest strength is that nobody can be me and nobody can take that away. So be you, be fearless, be the master of your own destiny. Thank you, everyone. I hope that you had a great time.